We are now 5 wide. Presented by Quick Trip's Quality Gasoline Guarantee. It's just another way Quick Trip has you covered.
9 to noon, ready to go. Billy Schmidt, John Kuhn joining the fray. Good morning, boys. How we doing?
How we feeling?
Good. Ready for an epic couple days leading into week 0 in college football. Kuhn is out of his mind for Swamp Kings, the Netflix doc on Urban Meyer's Florida Gators. That drops tonight or today. Tomorrow, Billy drops the Bishop Sycamore documentary. BS High, also your initials.
I love that.
That looks amazing. And then we roll right into week 0 in college football for what is going to be, someone pointed out, the last good college football season of this era, because it's the last year of rivalries like Oklahoma State. That's going away. Bedlam. The traditional Pac-12, if you were a fan of that, which I was, is being blown apart. You only have 4 BCS teams or 4 playoff teams this year. It expands next year. It's going to be big changes on the landscape. So,
I don't know
this season.
I don't know that I'd call it a bad thing. I think it's very, very good for us viewers. I, for one, I understand that there are economics that have to be figured out, and they will be. Less games between the College of Charleston and Alabama, and I'm going to be very excited, right? Like less games between Wofford against a ACC school. Yeah. I'm going to be very excited. I do think that's going to accelerate it.
You will not miss some of the older, more traditional elements as they fall apart piece by piece.
Yeah, because I think that as if you just try to grasp onto what has happened, you don't embrace the greatness that is going to happen. Now, are some people going to, and me as somebody who has watched the Ohio State Michigan game very, very closely for the last 15, 20 years. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit different when I know that they're going to be going and playing in Indianapolis the next weekend. But times are changing, man. We got to get on with it. And at some point, it's going to be better viewing for all of us college football fans. Butchie has a very different view maybe from the basketball side of things.
Well, the basketball side, I don't think is going to be that big a difference. I really don't. I mean, your conference play, you're still going to have non-conference. But I'll say this about college football. I'm glad I don't have to lay 56 anymore. I mean, because when the College of Charleston came against Alabama, I had to lay 56 points. Those are tough to gamble on. Now I don't have to worry about that anymore. Right. Now I got some decent spreads.
I can deal with 14.5 when it's a SEC school going up against an SEC school, and we're still going to have Mississippi State taking on different teams in the SEC. But you're not going to have to go and watch.
You're not going to miss the Apple Cup between Washington and Washington State. Come on, man.
No respect for the class.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't care. I apologize to all those people in Pullman who we are going to upset in week 2 when the Badgers go on out there and kick that game in the ass.
Will 12 team? We're going to 12 next or 8?
Correct.
Next,
12 next.
Will 12 be better than 4?
Way better.
It'll be more, but will it be better?
Yeah, yes. It'll be better.
Okay, Kuhn, do you believe it'll be better?
I think 12 will be better than 4. But this is how I feel on the complete landscape of college football is it depends on what side of this college Mason-Dixon line you're on. Are you on that old age that you still remember when the AP picked the national champion? Or are you a part of that Rose Bowl was only Big Ten versus Pac-12? Or are you a part of New Year's Day bowls and then the bowl season ending? Like, is that what you grew up raised on, the tradition and the rivalries? Because if you were, you're going to take a period of time to mourn over that. And I am one of them with you, Zabe. I'm one of them right along with you. And I will mourn that. But I'll say this, the young group, the young kids now, the 13, 14, 15 years old, they're soon going to be in their 20s and they're not going to remember it. And it's not going to matter. It's going to be a fantasy, a figment of our imagination that these incredible rivalries used to exist.
I'm fairly progressive in terms of let's do this better, let's make this better. But there is a bit of traditionalist left in me. So I'm a little bit sad at this last gasp of what makes sense in college football and college athletics, because now it's going to be scattered all over. And your conference schedule, you're going to catch 40, 50% of your league opponents every year. That's it. Not much of a conference there, if you ask me. And you're going to be playing teams from coast to coast. But I do not want to go back to the days of split national championships between the UPI, the AP, and the USA Today. That was complete garbage. I don't want to ever see a tie again in my life. Tom Osborne going for a damn tie at Nebraska back in the day in the Orange Bowl to screw up the quote national championship. I don't want that.
Well, and I grew up with the BCS where people were always bitching about something. So there's always been frustration since I've been watching college football. And I think this is going to be the best opportunity to settle it on the field. Now, are you losing some traditional rivalries? Sure. But I think you're also spawning in and holding on to many that are still why we watch college football. You're still going to have plenty of those moments and the pageantry that make it what it is.
And you'll lose
it's still going to be
12. Right? Like that's what you lose. That's done. I mean, you might have some of it. With
Bill Walton's going to be the most upset one.
We do have a wellness check on Bill Walton, who touted the Conference of Champions.
I had heard an interview with Bill Walton since this whole thing is going down, and he's bummed. He's really hurt by this whole thing because Pac-12 is completely gone.
He called it the Conference of Champions, the mighty Pac-12.
Well, Butchie, you got his number because you guys were supposed to go and have burgers this summer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When he was back in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I love Wisconsin.
I love Wisconsin.
Oh, is it beautiful? And I'm going to see Brian and Billy and all of you. But why did you fire Bud? How can you fire a coach named Bud?
Was he saying that last time you saw him?
Oh, man.
Last time we saw him, he sure did. It's always a great interview.
It's the best, man. With him. Let me tell you, I love Giannis. Giannis and Wisconsin. I mean, and cheese curds are, oh my. He came on through here, I think, during one of the Grateful Dead tours. And then he has one of his daughters lives up here, right?
Yep.
Butchie? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, that's what it was.
Interesting, though, about next year's expanded playoff. Early word is that the TV networks are getting very lukewarm offers to carry the first round of the playoff games on campus. Some are saying it's because the networks are charging way too much.
No, say it ain't so.
Yeah,
no way.
Right, exactly. Or not the networks. I should say that the college football powers that be are telling the networks if you want to carry these games, and the networks are like, it's an on-campus game that's going to likely be a 10 to 12 point spread
at least,
between teams. We don't know who's going to be in the bracket. You're asking me to buy this sight unseen. We'd rather spend our money on proven rivalries. Auburn, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State. So we'll see how it shakes out. The Swamp Kings thing you're super jacked up for, Kuhn. Is it because that was the team of your adolescence when you watched college football when you were a teenager?
No, it was a team that I remember vividly. I was in the NFL when this whole thing was going down. But I'm super jacked for this because what Netflix has been doing with the football series, with Quarterback, which I was Matt on, the Johnny Manziel doc, which I'm super high on, whether
everyone was,
whether you've seen it or not, it was pretty fantastic. And now you got a 4-episode series on Swamp Kings. It is 4 episodes, Abe, and I'm going to figure out how to watch all 3 hours tonight.
Okay, so
does
all
anybody
4
have a free
episodes drop today.
Netflix account though? Can I get? I had
no, man.
Cancel mine about 2 weeks
no, it's
ago.
not
Are you
free.
kidding me? You get every channel
I pay
possible.
for it, Butchie.
I know, but I don't
You're
get
asking
Netflix.
to
I do get every
steal
channel.
what I pay for. Does anyone have a free Netflix?
Just wanted to throw that out there.
I
had to
one of them
cancel mine
free
about a month
Netflix.
ago.
I like
I don't
that.
think you know what that word means.
No, he's asking
Zay,
if he
I'll
can get
get
a
you some longer
scholarship.
shorts if you want. Can we do a swap?
No.
Can I get a Netflix account? I'll get you some
Shorts
longer
are just
inseam.
fine.
Okay.
So it's a 4-parter.
Well, how
the
short are
word
those
on the
inseams?
Johnny Manziel doc, Kuhn,
They
was
got
that it could have been or should have been longer.
It definitely should have been longer. It did a fantastic job of telling the story of Johnny Manziel, high school, college, rock star lifestyle, goes into great depth on how the payment for the autographs and the NIL was going down. And then when Johnny got to the NFL and things went awry and he got really caught up, They kind of glazed over that in about 15 minutes, could have expanded on that much, much more. And then it had this really weird ending with Johnny Manziel smoking a blunt and drinking a beer at the end of an episode where you're thinking, man, this guy threw his whole career away for drugs and alcohol, and here he is drinking a beer and smoking weed. It was fascinating to watch the entirety of where Johnny Manziel came from and where he's actually at right now.
Is it because he's now pursuing a life of sobriety and that the final moments of the documentary painted a picture that's not in tune with where he's at in his life right now?
Is he living a life of sobriety?
I don't know.
It sure
I'm
doesn't
asking.
paint
That is a
picture.
no.
It sure does not
So
paint
that's
that
a no.
picture at the
Yeah,
end.
no, he is definitely
Okay.
not. He is definitely not living a life of sobriety. But
So those that saw the doc said they wanted more NFL stuff. They were like, how did it all go south with the Browns? Maybe they didn't have access to that stuff from the NFL, from the Browns. Maybe the
Or
Browns
had a lot of
denied
it.
their request.
No, they had a good bit.
Good amount?
They had a spot in there specifically where Johnny's agent was being called by the general manager from the Browns saying, this guy doesn't watch tape at all. And his
At all,
agent,
right.
his
Yeah,
agent called him
saw
up
that.
and said, hey, are you watching film? He goes, no.
Yeah. So you're just
20
saying you would
bucks
have
for
liked
Netflix?
more of that.
I think, Jesus. What'd he say?
Yeah.
The price of Netflix?
He goes 20 bucks for Netflix. Which he's now investigating.
49, but no downloads of the 6. When did Netflix?
But you're not wrong. You're not wrong, dude. Every streaming service has upped its price in like the last 3 months, and all these people that cut their cords are now like, "What the hell?
This
did
is
we do?"
ridiculous. I mean, supply
20
chain issue or
bucks.
what? But 20 bucks? Cripes.
Here's
Right.
a fat.
Sorry,
here's
I
a
didn't
ju-
mean to do this, but man.
oh my god,
Here's a juicy
I love this
meatball
guy,
on the
man.
talking text line for you, Billy. Dustin says, wait, when did the BCS get it wrong? Really?
Pick a year.
Dustin, right, pick a year. Where were you when everyone was arguing up a storm every year about the BCS? and
I
what it
kind of
came
like the
out to?
BCS to tell you the truth.
Hey, there's one.
Did you like the Kali Matrix? Did you like the Ken Palm? Did you like all the soups of the statistical formulas that got thrown in to try to figure out?
What I liked
Here's the
about
best
it is if you were a big time program and you wanted to get those points, you played somebody in the regular season. You played them early on. That's how you got Ohio State, Texas, second game of the season. That's how you got those key matchups.
Well, you get Alabama, Texas this year for their home and home, and I get that, and their style points were fun. I think what people wanted in the BCS was for it to get settled on the field. Now you'll finally get that in the 12-team playoff. But Zabe, you're kind of right when you're looking at some of those point spreads, and we know football, especially college football, is a little bit different where you can upset somebody 1 week, but to think that somebody's going from the 11 or 12 spot and winning this deal, I believe it when I see it, because that is a
Especially
hell of a
not-
gauntlet you're running.
Especially not into somebody else's home field and home stadium.
Yeah.
Presumably sold out. Now, how many teams get a bye in the 12-teamer next year?
4.
Are the first rounds
so the
in
top
Dayton?
4 get buys.
They are not in Dayton, no.
Yes,
Damn.
on a dirty side field in Dayton with bad lights.
Well, I'm out.
Where would you go? Where
Like
would
that.
you have the 4 games? Dayton, Boise on the blue field? Probably Boise. You got to
Eastern
have
Washington.
Eastern
red
Washington
field.
on the red field.
red
yeah.
field.
And, what was
Jerry
it?
Worth,
Coastal
he's
Carolina.
in there,
And
too.
then Coastal Carolina,
on the
no
teal.
doubt, Butch,
There you
yes,
go.
the mayonnaise field, the Duke's mayonnaise ball field. That's very good.
You're forgetting the new black field they installed in upstate New York.
New York.
At
We-
this Division II
Yes,
college.
yes.
They bought a black field.
Yeah.
It was on deep discount.
Imagine that week 0.
South
It's gonna be hot.
Milwaukee has a black turf field that they just installed. That is going to be wild for practices coming up here in
I
the
would-
next couple of days.
Have fun.
I was
Have
going to
fun
say, I'd
Wednesday.
recommend
Good luck
staying
on
off
that.
of that for the next couple of days with these heat warnings going on. Swamp Kings today, BS high about Bishop Sycamore tomorrow, then week 0.
No,
And Butch, you
1999.
can't watch any of it.
Yep, nope, I can't. And only
That's
$19.99 a month.
$19.99. $20 for Netflix.
Time for another camp. Here we go.
Amen. Amen. Sign them up.
Well done, Josh.
Thank
That's
you.
a good one.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Tag,
Lordy.
you're at 9 to noon is next. Have a good one. Josh, Butchie, as always, great job. Thank you. And we'll see everyone tomorrow.
Even better than current. She don't want She want the time we could spend. She said, cause I really need somebody